Why go on when you give everything and face that which torments you, only to find that it is worse than you could have imagined? Why go on? Is it really so weak to ask this? Or are we just so afraid of the honest answer that we do not dare pose the question? Sometimes the answer lies in a memory, a feeling, a song.
It's the song. It's not real. It's a trick.
The wound closed up.
It is real. Listen to it. She
Don't give up.
Dillian. It's
Not like this.
It can't be. It's not real. It is real. It's a trick. Don't trust it. Maybe you're already dead.
Who are you?
Maybe this
Do you
is...
still believe in yourself?
No, it's not. It's a trick. She knows it's him. It's a trick. He's already dead. You know it's him. He can't be here. It's impossible. Dillian.
Come to me. Please.
The light. Go towards the light. It's him. There he is. It can't be him. It's just a trick. It's in your mind. No, he's here. It's in your mind.
It's real. What's happening?
Go towards it.
Well, I don't know if he's real, but we only have one choice on what to do here. Oh, poor Senua. She's really not looking too good now. Very beat up. We're below the bridge. Oh, she's not doing so well. And we don't have a weapon right now. We can't even defend ourselves. That's really not good. Oh, we were so close too. Look, it's right there. But we're not ready yet. No. So many sunken boats here. There it is again. What's he doing? Oh, practicing.
There it is. You're imagining things.
Oh.
It's Dillian. He's gone. You were too slow.
How could you?
Keep going.
How could you?
Keep going. Ignore the pain. I told you it was to trick you.
I told you.
Where are you going?
Don't listen.
There's nothing to follow.
Come on.
Now, other than wanting to look for Dillian, like Dillian is pretty obviously a representation of hope for Senua too. So we really can't give up on this quest. It's really something that we have to go all the way for. Because to not have hope is to let the darkness consume you. And I'm pretty sure nobody here wants that.
Before she first met him, she was not in a good place. Just a teenager, but not like the others. Barely functioning, she rarely left the house. Her father's in-bell made sure of that. Only occasionally did she venture out on her own, collecting firewood and herbs. Errands out in the Orkney Plains. That was her world. Like this one. Barren and lonely.
Why would the father do that? Loneliness. I feel like it's a prerequisite for the darkness consuming you. So the whole father not letting her go outside thing, I think it really hurt her. Where was Galena in all of this? She was the village healer. Is there a house over there? Maybe? Oh. I think we're feeling a little bit better now. We can run a little bit. Wait. Hey, there's a figure again. But what about that? I thought I heard someone's voice.
Senua, there will be times that you will feel alone and exhausted, like a strange little fish swimming against the tides of the big ocean. But have the faith to let go and let the tide carry you away. Because the whole ocean is your home, and it does not ask you to swim against it.
Oh, I really like this. Every time we find her mom, she always has positive, encouraging words for us. And I really like that she just said, you know, go with the flow. Don't try to fight against it. Because people's first instinct, using her metaphor again, her analogy of being drowning in the ocean, your first instinct is to fight against it. But maybe letting the tide take you away, maybe that would certainly use a lot less strength. And maybe that would be the one that's better for you to do, too.
It's already disappeared. Nothing lives here, not even you.
Oh.
It's in your mind. You think you can see it, but it's in your mind.
I think he's leading us somewhere. Dillian.
It's the tree.
There he was,
Where is he?
the lone figure of a boy.
He's there.
Where?
Just a tree light.
Swordplay under the shade of a tree.
There he is.
Oh.
You have to keep doing
She
it.
remembers the first time she saw him. To her young eyes, he moved as if dancing, and the world danced with him. The glue lifted, and for the first time in years, she felt a ray of hope.
See? Yeah, Dillian. A ray of hope.
Where is he? He's there. Where is he? He's there. Under the
Practicing.
tree light. You can see him. Come on, you have to keep Dillian going. Waiting for you. Keep going.
In Norse mythology, there's a tree. Oh? Hey, there's another bridge here. Oh.
The Northmen tell of a great hero. His name is Sigmund. His father's hall was built around a great tree, and one day, Odin comes and thrusts a sword into the tree, a gift to whomever can release it. Many try, but the sword only comes out at Sigmund's touch. His brother-in-law, King Siggeir, wants it, but Sigmund refuses him, so King Siggeir plots revenge. He invites Sigmund and his brothers to a feast, but when they arrive, they are met with an army, not a warm welcome. King Siggeir captures Sigmund and his brothers, steals his coveted sword, and readies them for execution.
Well, that's not very kind of them. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Senua has no sword right now. Is there any possibility that Mr. Sigmund can lend me his sword? Wouldn't that be something? We can go up there, or we can walk across here. Is there anything here? Oh, there's a ladder that comes down. Okay, so let's go this way then.
death for Sigmund and his brothers seems certain. But the king's wife is Sigmund's sister, and she begs for mercy and implores the king to chain them up instead. He agrees. Not for mercy, though, but because he plans an even more cruel and lingering death. Chained to a tree in the forest that night, a she-wolf comes and devours one of Sigmund's brothers. She returns, ravenous, night after night, until only Sigmund is left. The next day, Sigmund's sister sends a servant with honey to smear on Sigmund's face. But to what end? Well, that night, when the she-wolf appears again, you'll never guess what happens.
What? Cliffhanger? Of course they would. Of course they would. Honey. How would that help? Wouldn't honey make the wolf want to eat you more? Oh, so we can't get up on the bridge. I thought we could, but maybe not now. Not right this moment. Back down here. I don't know where the tree is anymore. Oh yeah, earlier I was gonna talk about the tree. In Norse mythology, there is a world tree called Yggdrasil, if I remember right. A tree that connects all the worlds, or something like that. Maybe that's the tree we're heading towards. I wonder what it means that there's so many broken boats here, though. Is it kind of saying that a lot of people have gone on this journey before? And that a lot of them have failed? Oh, that's not a very positive way to think about it, is it? Go up here. Not much here. Weeds. So many sunken boats.
Day after day, watching from afar, she mimicked him, perfecting her own secret dance, wishing those fleeting moments of light would stretch out to last forever.
Is that how she learned how to fight? That's really impressive. And there he is. We can see the light, the sunlight, just as we stare at Dillian. It's so nice.
As the she-wolf licks the sweet honey from Sigmund's face, he bites the wolf's tongue. The she-wolf pulls away, but Sigmund holds on. The chains break, and he is free. After his escape, Sigmund lives like us, hidden in the forest. His enemy, King Siggeir, believing him dead, as his sister plots revenge. And for vengeance to succeed, even the great Sigmund needs help. So she sends her sons to him. But their blood is weak and corrupted, and they're put to death by Sigmund. So his sister hatches a new plan, one that is cold of heart and pure of blood.
And of course, we don't get to find out what that is, unless if we find the next runestone. Cliffhangers. Oh, so the honey distracted the wolf from just... Because if there was no honey, then the wolf would just eat Sigmund. Oh. Wow, that's a pretty cool plan. So even though she was gonna eat you anyway, You delay it.
The light. Follow the light. No. It's a trick. It's an illusion. It's not real. Do you really think it's real? You want to believe it's real, but it's a trick.
You're deluded. Where are you going?
Where is she going?
To
What is she
Dillian.
doing? You can't even fight. It's just deception.
How does he so effortlessly court the world and bliss? If only she could do the same. See the world through eyes anew and dance with it, just like he does.
Oh. This is how Dillian sees the world. Dillian, someone who is not tainted by the darkness, I guess. And this was their village before, huh? So does that mean that physically, we're actually on the island where her village was? It's always a little bit hard to tell because a lot of this might be just what Senua was thinking. We don't know how much of it is real. Aww. So nice to see a smile on her face.
What's your name?
Senua,
I haven't seen you before.
I don't leave home much.
Oh, Zeno's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait. Who taught you to fight like that?
No one.
No one.
Well, I watched you, and
You learnt all of that from watching me? You should become a warrior, you know.
me?
I'm Dillian. I'm here for the warrior trials. Would you come and watch? And bring your sword.
You can't put it into words. That moment when you look into the eyes of the one who is supposed to reassure you, make you feel safe. It only takes an instant. Fear swallows you before you have a chance to make sense of it. And darkness becomes a part of who you are.
I killed
Her
him.
will change the day the Northmen took him from her. Senua knows that there's no going back to
Whoa.
how things were. That there's nothing to go back to at all.
Stay still, stay quiet, hide, don't tell her.
Their gods can see into your mind. They will use this power to destroy you.
They won't stop me. I can still feel him.
Whatever's left of him, they will never let him go.
I'm not gonna let him rot here.
You're the one rotting here.
Leave me alone.
You will die here,
No.
and all your suffering will have been for nothing.
Dillian? Is that you? I'll find you, my love. I promise.
Oh. It was so nice to see her happy for a second, even if it was just reminiscing.
Can you see him? You want to believe it. Is he not real? Is he there? You're alone in these mountains.
Is that Dillian?
Nothing lives here. You won't survive. We met him by the tree. She met him by the tree. Maybe it's a sign, the tree.
What's he trying to tell you?
He's waiting for you by the tree.
There's 9 people hanging off the tree. Oh. A lot's happening really fast. Gotta keep looking for him. There's something here. It looks like there should be something here, but there's nothing here right now. Okay. Oh.
Sigmund's sister trades shapes with a sorceress, and in disguise, she lies with her own brother.
Whoa.
She gives birth to a son named Sinfjotli. After a time, she sends him to the forest to Sigmund. He tests the boy and finds him strong and fearless, and so they go to take their vengeance on King Siggeir. But luck is not on their side. They're captured, and Siggeir has them buried alive.
A plan pure in blood indeed. Lying with your own brother. Cold in heart, pure in blood. See, there's another one of these pockets here. Where it just seems like there's nothing at the end of it. Okay. How do we get up on the tree? What are the other things hanging on the tree? The stuff that's not a human. I'm not too sure. We're on the coast.
As Sigmund and Sinfjotli are being buried alive, Sigmund's sister throws an armful of straw into the grave mound. Hidden in the straw is Sigmund's sword, the gift of Odin. They cut their way out of the grave mound and set fire to Siggeir's hall. The king burns to death. Sigmund calls to his sister to come out so that she may live and be honored. She does come out, but only to tell him the truth. That she had slept with him, her brother, to beget a strong avenger. I am not fit to live, she says, and walks back into the fire. Strike vengeance from your heart, Senua, as there is always a heavy price to pay.
So I guess the moral of that story is that if you want something really badly, you have to pay a big price for it. For Sigmund, he really wanted to get revenge, but his successors were just all too weak and not good enough until his sister bore him a child. You know, because he's the strongest warrior, right? So someone that pure in blood was the only way to get an heir that was strong enough to get revenge. But it seems like even back in the mythology days, that's something frowned upon. So his sister is the price he paid for revenge. Look at that.
Take a sword. A sword. Take it. Dillion left it for you. Take it. Take it. Take it.
But that's obvious.
It's a trick. It's a trick. It's ending. It's coming from there. And there. Oh, what are they? Look. Where's it coming from? She started something. Oh.
What's happening?
Senua, imagine a sword that can slay gods.
Its name is Gramr. It was forged by the god of all Northmen, Odin, and gifted to Sigmund, a great warrior.
I need this sword. It's important. Can you help me?
The sword appears whole, but it is an illusion. It shattered into shards long ago. It is said a great warrior can reforge Gramr by answering the trials of Odin, one for each shard. The roots of the Tree of Death will take you to new lands where you will face the trials.
Go to the shards. Go to the shard.
Go to the shards.
What's the shard? Find it.
It's the metal runestones.
Roots of the Tree of Death.
Find it.
I knew these shards did something.
You need that sword.
Go to the shard.
Find the shards. Where is it?
Find it. There it is.
Focus.
There's the shard. Focus.
Focus.
Use your eyes. Look.
Get closer.
What can you see?
Go to it.
A king in the north forced the dwarves to make a sword that would never fail and never rust, and that would slice through iron and stone and bring victory to its bearer. But the angry dwarves cursed it. It would be the death of a man every time it was drawn, and it would be the death of the king. Let me tell you about the sword Tyrving.
Well, that's a different sword. Not Gramr.
I don't recognize this place.
Where are we?
Where is she?
It feels wrong. Where are we now? Burial mound. So strange that we go to such lengths to bury death. Something so very ordinary, inevitable. It's as if we conspire to hide death, because we have no answer for it. But when it comes, and forces itself onto our friends or loved ones, then comes the reckoning.
So it seems like we have 5 different trials now, and we have to complete them to retrieve this sword, Gramr. Well, we'll take a little break here, and when we come back, we will figure out this burial place. See you soon.